here on Matthew chapter 19, verse 1 to 12, on divorce. When Jesus had finished saying these things, he left Galilee and went into the region of Judea and the other side of the Jordan. And I'll commentate as I go. This is the New International Version. Verse 2, large crowds followed him and he healed them. Some Pharisees came to him to test him. They asked, is it lawful for a man to divorce his wife for any reason and every reason? Jesus replied, haven't you read, he replied, that at the beginning the Creator, that was himself, the Word, by whom all things were created by him in 1 John. The Creator made them male and female and said, for this reason a man will leave his father and mother and be united to his wife, and the two will become one flesh. Don't you realize you're one flesh? You create one flesh. And yet people use sexual intercourse as nothing, as meaningless. So they are no longer two, but one. Therefore, what God has joined together, let no man separate. Verse 7, why then, they asked, did Moses command that a man give his wife a certificate of divorce and send her away? Jesus replied, this was Moses, not God. See, another inkling. Moses did things of his own volition, not of God. You see what I mean? You got to read everything. Okay? So here's an example of Moses doing something of his own volition, not of God. Jesus replied, verse 8, Moses permitted you to divorce your wives because your hearts were hard. Right? But it was not this way from the beginning. When Garden of Eden, I tell you that anyone, what God just said earlier, what Jesus just said earlier in the Garden of Eden. Verse 9, I tell you that anyone who divorces his wife except for marital unfaithfulness and marries another woman commits adultery. Then the disciples said to him, if this is the situation between a husband and wife, it is better not to marry because they're going through problems. I went through a little bit of this in another study. They're going through problems and say, hey, man, it's hard. In other words, we better not marry. That's what they're thinking of the pain. Pros and cons to everything. But Jesus answered, and he actually confirmed this. Because Apostle Paul, man thinks more of God when he's single, and same with the woman as far as Christians. It's true. In the next life, you need to give and take in marriage. But quickly, verse 11, Jesus, not everyone can accept this word, meaning I agree with you, but only those to whom it was given, meaning who want to do that. For some are castrated because they were born that way. They couldn't have children. Some were made that way, like king's men, not into their concubines, literally castrated. And then at the end, made that way by men. And others renounced marriage because of the kingdom of heaven. What I just said earlier, the one who can accept us, they should accept us. Some have renounced marriage because they want more time to God and they find it's better. And if you can accept this, to those who can accept it, he says accept it. But